You're listening to the Craft Messages That Matter podcast. My name is Theo Capodistrius, and I'm going to talk to you about all things communication, public speaking, TEDx, and all the things in between. These are going to be short episodes, and hopefully you'll gain a lot out of it. Sit back and enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome. I hope you're excited for episode 6 of season 1 of the Craft Messages That Matter podcast. My name is Theo Capodistrius, and I help professionals and business owners to demonstrate their value through their voice and through their own words. And I do this through a range of presentations, workshops, and one-on-one coaching programs, including a new service I run called Power Presentations AI, where I combine one-on-one coaching with the power of an AI platform. Reach out if you'd love to have a turn at it. I am loving the reception I've received for this podcast so far. So thank you everyone who's listened. Thank you everyone who has sent me a message. I really appreciate it. And it's really exciting to hear that it's providing some great value to people who are enjoying the really short form episodes and blogs which follow each episode as well. So if you haven't seen those, please check out my website. All right, so today we're going to have a chat about having difficult conversations with empathy. And these conversations are just that. They're difficult. We avoid them, and we only seem to have them when it's absolutely necessary. But springing information on people in a surprising way is only going to cause more harm than good to a relationship. Imagine if you were an employee and it was approaching the end of your probation period. You speak to your manager before your probationary meeting and ask, is there anything I should do to prepare? Is there anything I should be worried about? Should I be concerned? And your manager says, no way, it's all good. And for those first 3 months of employment, everything had been fine. You hadn't been warned about anything. It's all kind of just been cruising along. But then it's meeting time, and you find out that your manager thinks you suck. The feedback that's been provided, it's been provided in a really harsh way, but they haven't attempted to make it sound constructive. Have you ever heard of the compliment sandwich? Here's an example. You get to the office on time, and that's really great. Your work quality is poor and your colleagues have complained about your odour, not to mention how unresponsive and slow you are. But you've got a really great haircut. Yeah, it's truly awful. Whether it's a performance conversation with a colleague or you want to provide some feedback about something you're not particularly happy about, it's important that you communicate that. But the big question is, how can you do it? And how can you do it well? I'm going to introduce you to a structure which is used in the design thinking space. The structure I like, I wish, what if is a relatively popular design thinking activity used to gather feedback during the prototyping stage. This is where participants who are involved in a project come together and share feedback. But I want to look at it in the communication and conversation space because I think it can be neatly replicated. It kind of works as a more effective and far more useful compliment sandwich as it provides more of a focus on emphasizing a means to improve rather than hiding issues amongst false commentary. But you know what, maybe your haircut is really good, so take it if you do get that compliment. We're going to start off with the I like section. This is a way to kick off a discussion with some positive vibes, focusing on the things that are good in the circumstances. Let's say you're in a group project and you want to be able to let the others know that you're not happy with a particular color chosen for the design of a poster, but you really like the font. So you can start off with, I think it's important to have a discussion on how the project is going so far. I like our font. It sets the scene and feels really appropriate. And after that, you can move on to the next section, which we'll discuss shortly. Opening with something positive allows receiving or hearing critical feedback a little bit easier. Let's move on to I wish. This is where we're able to frame how change or improvement can be implemented or should be implemented. It's used as the space to address a concern or an issue which may arise. It should be constructive though. Not a place simply to throw someone under the bus, but a legitimate place for an actual discussion and a place where it can be provided considering the impact and the means by which it's delivered. If we use the above example, we'd say, I wish though that we'd use a different colour for this. I'm not sure that the colour works well with everything else we're going for. There shouldn't be any finger pointing, blame throwing or anything like that. It's just about raising the concern or the issue in a more constructive way. Let's move on to the final part, the what if section. This is where you can bring up new suggestions or ways to address the matters and resolve them. It opens up new things to explore in the future and leaves things in a way more positive light. It looks and focuses on ways to improve things for the better. If we look at our above example, we could suggest something like, what if we consider the season that this will be released, and see if the design matches what else may be around at that point. Maybe we should actually go with another color. This approach means that you can open up the possibilities without making anyone's ideas feel worthless. It's simply about exploring new opportunities and a new way of thinking, and we love that. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you once again for listening. Please be sure to subscribe, follow, rate, review, whatever the other things are. Please just do it. Give me some stars. Give me a review. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're keen to learn more about what I'm doing, training programs, or whatever it might be, please feel free to reach out. I would love to continue working with people. Please feel free to find me on my social media. You can find me at my like page on Facebook, Theo Capodistrius, speaker and coach. You can find me on LinkedIn. And of course, please follow our social channels for the podcast, CMTM_podcast on Instagram. And you can find me at TheoCap88 on Instagram as well. Thank you again for listening and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.